Acts chapter 9, starting around verse 15. But the Lord said to him, Go, for this man is my chosen instrument to take my name to the Gentiles, kings, and Israelites. I will show him how much he must suffer for my name. In Acts chapter 9, we find a pivotal moment in the calling of the Apostle Paul, then known as Saul of Tarsus. The Lord, speaking to Ananias in a vision, declares that Paul is his chosen instrument. And yet he also says something striking. I will show him how much he must suffer for my name. This statement pushes back against a common understanding that we have in Western Christianity today, that following God leads to a life of ease, better health, improved finances, and overall general success. Paul's story reveals something very different. Before his conversion, Paul caused a great deal of suffering for believers, even presiding himself over the execution of Stephen. But the irony is that as soon as he turns to Christ, Paul himself is called to a life of suffering. This is not simply a reversal of fate. No, it's a profound reminder of what it means to follow God, proclaim the truth, and take up the cross of Jesus Christ. In a world that is filled with religious and societal and political forces that oppose the message of the Messiah, it is tempting to adopt a comforting philosophy. Believe in God, do the right thing, and all will be well. But God's message to Paul, and indeed to us today, is quite different. From the beginning of Paul's ministry, suffering was a part of his call. This should cause us to reflect on our own expectations of what it means to follow the Messiah. Do we expect comfort, ease, and prosperity? Or are we willing to embrace the suffering and the sacrifice that comes with aligning ourselves with the will of God? Jesus himself said that following him means taking up our cross daily, which involves more than just a moment of decision. It is a life marked by sacrifice, suffering, and joy in knowing that we are walking in the footsteps of the Son of God. Paul's call to suffer for Christ was not a punishment, but an integral part of his mission. And as modern Christians, we must rethink what it means to follow Jesus. Perhaps our spiritual understanding needs a revolution, a shift away from the prosperity gospel to a life of deeper faith, sacrifice, and joy in the midst of suffering. And in doing so, we will grow more and more into the image of Christ.